Hi everyone, welcome to my Thursday Live. My name's Janine, and today I want to talk to you about health, mental health, and that kind of thing, but specifically something that has been brought to my attention this week, and I've made a few notes because I want to keep on track with it. So I listened to a part of a podcast where a doctor was asked why they thought there was so much poor health in America. And her reply was, if she'd have been asked a year ago, she would have put that down to poor diet, lack of exercise, the microbiome, the gut health in the body, and that kind of thing. But this year, she's changed her mind and is talking about the importance of light and how light affects our body, specifically linked to screens. Now, how many of us have got cell phones and laptops and computers and watching television in bed and all this type of stuff? When it's dark, what's happening is the blue light from the screens goes in through the eye and is taken into the brain, and that blue light that we're seeing from screens, it's got electromagnetic frequencies. Well, blue light in per se is not a bad thing, but if it's natural light, so natural daylight, natural sunlight, because natural light from the sun, from being outside, has got ultraviolet light with it and infrared light with it. So the combination, there's a spectrum of light, which is good for our body. So we need to be outside more. But the problem with the blue light that's coming in through screens is it's affecting something in our cells called the microbiome. And, the mitochondria. The microbiome is in the gut, the mitochondria in the cell. Now, this mitochondria, if you look at a drawing of a cell, you normally see a circle with a little dot in the middle for the nucleus. They look like little kind of maggot-shaped things in the cell. So they absorb digested food energy into the microbiome, the mitochondria, and the mitochondria converts it to light and energy to heat. So that's why we can be seen on an infrared camera, because of that energy in our system. And too much of these EMFs are affecting the mitochondria in our cells, and this is causing inflammation in the mitochondria and can lead to all kinds of health issues. So if we're at home and we're stuck in our rooms watching stuff on our cell phone late at night, scrolling through social media and stuff like that, we're actually damaging our health, because what it does is it gets addictive and the dopamine gets used up in our systems. So we start to crave another dopamine hit. So we're starting to look for things like snacks and food that are not good for us, processed foods and things like that. And it's all affecting our health, which can lead to depression, because it's not the right kind of light going into our eyes, anxiety, autoimmune diseases, and even things like cancer. So it's really important that we take note of what we're watching, what time of day it is, what our children are watching on their phones and on their computers and things like that, because it's really affecting the health. So there were some experiments done in 1972 by the military, exposing rats to these EMF frequencies. And I tried to get hold of one of the pictures, but it's not coming up on my other phone. I tried to open it and it won't open. But basically the rat's, one of its eyes swelled up to, if you look at like my eye, the rat's eye, and imagine my other eye being the size of a golf ball, it swelled up to maybe 4 times the size of what it should be. And this was because of the exposure to the blue light and the EMS through the blue light. So there's a big difference between natural light, sunlight, which is coming into our system, which is feeding us good positive energy, and the brain is taking that light in, and the master clock in our system that's saying, oh, it's daylight, we need this energy, we need to take this energy, and we're going to use this energy, and we're wide awake and we're alert and we know what's going on around us. Whereas if we're watching blue light from screens, that's not doing that. That's just causing us problems, it's causing us harm in the system, and it's damaging our health. When we go to sleep at night, it's really important that we turn the lights off. So she said it's not even healthy to be leaving night lights on for children. Now, the mitochondria in the system has an electromagnetic frequency. We're electromagnetic beings made of light. That's what we are. So when we leave our cell phone, for example, next to our bed, switched on, and I've done it myself for the alarm in the morning, what's happening is the oxygen that's in our systems is being sucked out of our body, basically, by the electromagnetic field of our phones. So we're actually dehydrating because we're losing the oxygen in our body, and it's the water in our body is being affected. Water is H2O, so oxygen is part of that. So it's causing so many different health issues for us. And the other interesting thing about this is the mitochondria in our system, we inherit 100% of our mother's mitochondria. So this is particularly important if you're out there and you're pregnant, for example, or you're planning to have children, and if you're on your cell phone at night and you're taking in this blue light into your system, which is causing confusion in your system, causing swelling in the mitochondria in your cells, you're actually passing on. We inherit 100% of our mitochondria from our mother. So this is particularly important, and I'm always saying things about the importance of pregnant women and protecting the child in the womb in that respect. If we're passing on as women 100% of our mitochondria to our unborn child, and we are on cell phones every night scrolling down, letting this blue light into our system, we're actually damaging the mitochondria that we're passing on to our children. So that's something that is really important to think about. So health isn't just about food and exercise, that's obvious. Health is about electromagnetic frequencies, and we all know about the towers that are out there, and people have been, fighting about these EMFs from these towers, and they are dangerous to our health because they're drawing out the oxygen from the cells in our body, from the mitochondria in our body, and that's having a negative effect on our health. So all of these things need to be taken into consideration. But it's not just food, it's not just exercise, it's not just EMF frequencies. There's also emotional causes of disease. And if you actually go on to search engine, Google or DuckDuckGo, whatever you prefer to use, and write in emotional causes of disease, there's books and lists being written about all of these different things as well. I'm looking forward to the day where there are doctors out there that are actually being honest enough to say that the emotional and psychological aspect of life is affecting our health, because it is. Everything that we feel, everything that we think is affecting us. So if we're feeling sad, that's sending frequency into our cells, into our body, that's also affecting our systems. So it's not just one area of what's going on in our lives that's affecting our health. It's every area. It's food, it's exercise, it's mental and emotional health, and it's also electromagnetic frequencies and the blue light that we're absorbing when we're on screens, watching screens when we're lying in bed at night. When we're in bed, we should be in darkness. Then there's no light going into the eye, going into the brain. The brain knows, it's sleep time, it's producing melatonin and so on. And this is the stuff in our body that's healing us while we're asleep. The optimum times there, as far as I'm aware, are between 10:30 and 2:30 a.m. in the morning. That's when our bodies are really going into a state where the healing is taking place and free radicals are being dealt with and all this kind of stuff in the system. So sleeping in the dark is really important. Anyone out there that works nights and is sleeping in the daytime, their health is at risk because of the job that they're doing. And any electric lights in the home are having an effect on us. These fluorescent lights are worse than others, but all lights that are electricity have an effect. When electricity was introduced to homes and to the world many years ago, I think it was the end of the 1890s or something like that, this is when flu season started. And if you look into when radar was brought out, when sonic stuff was brought out, sonar and things like that, there were massive epidemics all over the world. India, Spain, all corresponded during the times of when these things were rolled out, when radar was created and things like that. So again, it's all about electromagnetic fields. The human body has an electromagnetic field running through it. So all this electricity that's in our homes, that's all over the place, is having an effect on our whole electromagnetic field. So this is another good reason to get out in nature, out in the woods, go hiking, being on the beach, being out of the city, where if you're living in an apartment block with 20, 30, 40, 50 apartments in it, and all of those people in that apartment, or the majority of them, have got Wi-Fi, that whole apartment block is just buzzing with these electromagnetic frequencies that are taking the oxygen out of our body. And that happens through something called I've written it down. Oxygen's paramagnetic. So basically what it means is that the oxygen is drawn to magnetic fields that are stronger than the magnetic field in the mitochondria in our body. So if we're living in an apartment block with all these different Wi-Fi's going on, that's having a really negative effect on our health. So it's something to consider, something to think about. Maybe switching off Wi-Fi when you're asleep at night in the house and switching it back on again in the morning this might help. But definitely being outside, getting outside for at least 30 minutes a day in the sunlight. And even in the winter, the sun's still out. You're still, getting the goodness of the sun. It's not just about sunbathing. It's about bringing in that healthy light into the system, which boosts our energy, and it makes us feel good anyway. I love sunshine, absolutely love being out in sunshine, and even if it's cold in the winter and the sun comes out, I like to get out and walk in the sun. So I just wanted to share that with you because I thought it was something that is important that more people should know about. Sorry about the slip of the tongue with the microbiome and the mitochondria. It's one of those things. But maybe have a think about it. If you've got children, think about what how much time your children are spending on their screens. And if you're thinking about having a family or you're pregnant, be very, very careful about how much time you're spending on screens at night time in particular, because it's confusing the system and it's actually causing harm in the body. When the mitochondria swells, this is when things like tumours and cysts and growths can start to develop in the system. So it's really important to understand that being healthy covers a lot of different areas. And the health care that I work with is about, I get people to do guided imagery of bringing the sun, that light of the sun, down through into their body and filling their whole body with it. And it does make a difference, even if you're visualizing it. It does make a difference, it does help. And accessing all different areas of going in and using that guided imagery to cancel out any negative emotional stuff that's in our system, because emotions have a frequency, thoughts have a frequency. Stress has a frequency. All of these things, when we're going through any kind of stressful thing or trauma, get stored in our cells and affect our health. And that's what healing is about. That's what energy healing is about. That's what guided imagery healing is about. Visualization is about. It helps with clearing these things when you use these techniques to clear this stuff out of your system. So I hope that's been useful to you guys. If you're new to me, please do click the links below and check out my website. There's a lot on there, a lot of stuff that I can help people with. And I will see you all again soon. Have a pleasant evening, day, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And thanks for listening. Bye for now.